Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy M.K.S here, back here with part two of Black Sundays for Black History Month, with the theme of support and success and helping the Black community in Britain and around the world to become successful. I nearly forgot the second part of that, but anyway, I hope you enjoy it, and as ever, I welcome your suggestions and comments. But yeah, like part of me was in a bit of a demotivated mood, so I wasn't sure if I was going to do this. So I might leave it for another day when I get the motivation back. But I thought I want to make sure I don't leave it and then forget about it. Or sometimes I start videos and then I don't go through the whole process, like parts 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then later on I forget which ones I've done or whatnot. So it taxes my brain even more. Anyway, I hope you enjoy it, as I say. And as ever, I welcome your ideas, suggestions, and whatnot. As I say, to me, ideas are a form of suggestions, I suppose. But I'd love to know what you think. And as ever, please let me know what you think about each of these comments I make from number 11 to 20. So here goes. So number 11, I'd love to find out how to change the perspectives or stereotypes or narrative. In my naivety, I use those terms interchangeably, I suppose. But basically about the Black British community, let's say, for instance. So any negative perspectives, stereotypes, or narratives that people have about the Black British community, say for instance, I would love to see how we can change those and have a more positive approach, like find out more about success stories amongst the British community. And again, this could be done all around the world. So I'd love to know any suggestions on that. Number 12, as I say, for instance, any successes that have been achieved by the Black community and how they can network together, how they can interview each other and work together on Zoom. And as I said before, like if any members of the Black community in Britain or around the world want to be interviewed for me to have a free platform really to promote any projects that they work on, even whether it's startups, SMEs, singing careers, or anything else that you want to promote, please let me know. So that would be like a free platform for you to be empowered. And also, I'd love to promote the idea of Zoom groups, as I say, for Black empowerment, including people in Britain and all around the world, in Africa, Australasia, and elsewhere. And maybe there could be different Zoom groups for different groups that, for instance, given time zones, there might be more convenient times for some groups. So there could be not just one Zoom group, but many, which talk about empowering the Black community in Britain and around the world. And there can be specific ones for Africa and for Australasia, perhaps. That's sort of my vision I'm thinking of. But yeah, I think it'd be pretty cool. I'd love to be as part of at least some of those, and then sometimes just promoting that idea, I think would be interesting to see what they could come up with together. And maybe those could be shared onto YouTube so people can join the discussion and find out more. And if they monetize that money could be used to help even more Black people start their own business and just generally be empowered and help to go towards covering bills or other things. Like I talked about in part 1, maybe there could be some ways where, what if the Black community in Britain, for instance, looked at how to legally, as I say, I always encourage sticking to the law and being as ethical as possible as well. What could they do to legally cut costs on their taxes? So if there's any sort of legal loopholes they could use, or even bills, or even mortgages or any other costs in their life, how they could save money. Any legal sort of way that they can save money and invest and things like that. Not only save money, but help their money to grow as well. Again, I know I talked about that before. Number 13, what are some struggles facing the Black community? I suppose it'd be interesting to hear from members of the Black community in Britain and around the world, especially in Britain themselves, like what struggles they face, and but also, I'd say, all around the world, like in Africa and things like political struggles, if they feel comfortable sharing those sorts of things. Number 14, what are the solutions to such struggles? For instance, in African countries, it could be how African countries, the leaders, politicians and general leaders, business leaders and whatnot, could be encouraged to invest in their communities and like provide access to STEM training and all sorts of things like that, like supporting businesses, supporting SMEs, startups and SMEs even across Africa and things like that. So it'd be interesting to hear some of those solutions, and again, like how they could work together. I think networking, working together, as I say, #stronger together. I think all those sorts of things help. So again, I'd love to know if people think I'm being naive, or if you have if any ideas that you think could work better. As ever, again, I'd love people to get involved in the discussion, like black people themselves and supporters, allies, or whatnot. Um, for instance, and also like companies, organisations, maybe they could get involved in discussions like talking about how they could support the black community, and listening to the black community could be one way to do so. Number 15, I hope to look into ways, all the possible ways to sort of support black British people to achieve their ambitions, achieve their goals, and things like that. And again, how other minority communities, such as my own, my fellow mutts, as I call us, my fellow mixed race people, Asian mixed race people, and other groups could support the black community, and even, as I say, businesses, organisations, and whatnot. Who could support the black community, and how, who would be interested in supporting the black community, and how, and it could be good for their PR or for whatever other reason. And I'd love to know what you think about that point as well. And from the black community, I'd love to know what your goals are, what you consider success to be. Is it making more money, saving money, having more money in your bank account, or is it being part of a community, or is it just being happy, or is it success in sports, or whatever else? I'd love to know what you define success, not necessarily what I define success, but what you define success as an individual. And it'll be interesting to collate that information and see what it would be like for a group. Big word for me, collate. Hope I'm using it correctly. But yeah, anywho, moving on, number 16, I'd love to know from other people that say what are the best ways to support and empower the black community to achieve as much success, again, however you define that, as possible. I often talk about like committees, think tanks, brainstorms, cooperatives, and just general networks and things like that. Again, on Zoom, and sometimes on and offline as well, in all sorts of different ways. Again, I'd love for other people to share suggestions on how black people can connect with each other, and also work, as I say, with supporters and allies and whatnot. So yeah, I hope people will get involved in the comment section and talk about your own suggestions and ideas, and how you would like to support the black community, and things like that. I think listening to them would be a great way to support any group, really, is to listen to what they want to achieve. Number 17, I hope people will share, as I say, projects about black people having, like, as say, for instance, as singer-songwriters together as well. Startups, SMEs, and all sorts of different projects. I'd love for people to share that information as much as possible. Number 18, once again, like success stories as well. I'd say general success stories, whether that's in business, whether that's a startups, whether that's on a small level, or on a bigger level, as SMEs, big businesses, or I'd say in terms of singing, songwriting, social media influencer, social media influencers, content creators, and whatnot. It'd be interesting here to read some of those stories and see what has been achieved. And I'd love to know what councils, politicians, local groups, national groups, and whatnot are doing to support the black community in Britain. Number 19, but also all around the world, I'd love for black people to network together in software development, and like to learn from each other, and look at what they can teach each other and things like that. And number 20, also black in STEM as well, science, tech, engineering, and maths, just in case anyone doesn't know what that means. So yeah, I think that covers everything for now, and peace and love.